Good morning, crafty friends, or afternoon or evening, whenever you are watching this video. Welcome and thank you for joining me. My name is Melissa, and today I thought we would get in one last Valentine's Day card before it's too late. So I got this really cute little stamp set from Firefly Farm in Minnesota. I will put the link in the description below. And I just fell in love with the little birds. They are so cute. And you can also get the die set. Now for the dies, I didn't really use them except for the little flowers, and that was it. But this is just adorable. So I Googled lovebirds, and the first image that came up was the blue birds with the white head, and I thought they were so cute. But then I looked at a few more pictures, and a lot of them had the green bodies with the orange head. So I also made one in that color. But I think today we are going to do the blue body, but we're going to have a red background on there. So let's go ahead and get started. It is a little time consuming, but it's not difficult at all. So let's see what we need to start with. First, we will be bringing in our Misty. And what I did was, I've already got everything set up in there. My magnet broke, but I am going to show you how I figured out the center and everything like that. So I've got just a plain piece of vellum here, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I know the direction that I want my heart to be. So I'm using my infinity dies here, and I am using the second from largest. So we're going to go ahead and pull that out. And what I did was I just took that, stuck it on the grid paper here. So I'm taking it and I'm centering it because through the vellum, you can see the grid. So I am taking and just centering that, just like that. So I'm going to tape down my heart to the vellum, and we're going to be using this as a little guide throughout the rest of this card making process. Just tape that down there. And you want to tape on the outside of the die, just so that doesn't go anywhere. So that's all set. So now what we need to do is I am bringing in an old cover plate from StampinUp that I had, and we're going to do a red background. So I will run this through the die cut machine, and then after I have that image on there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this vellum piece, lay it right on top of my cover plate, my panel, and that will center my die perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and go do that. I ran the red cardstock through with the cover plate, and I got that great impression on there. And then all I did was just lay this on top, and then I was able to cut the heart out just perfect. So that's how I did that. We're going to put that aside for now, and we need to move on with our main panel. Oh goodness, I forgot. Wanda Manaseri 9052. You won my giveaway from the Like No Other video, and you chose the blue and the pink one. So please send me a private email to handmadehugsbymelissa@gmail.com, and I will get this card in the mail to you. I'm so happy to give this away. So just send me a private email. I don't want you to put your address in the comments anywhere for anybody else to see it, but send me that email and I will get this card out to you. So now we need our panel. Yay, Wanda. I'm so happy. So I brought back in my panel. Oh, that's got stamping on it already. I don't want to use that one. We're going to use a new one. Did you see me throw that? I just tossed it. Okay, so we've got a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch panel, and I laid the heart on there, and that's how I placed my birds. I knew I wanted them kind of in the center. And then I also got my sentiment up in there. And then I also, first I stamped them. So let's do that. I was having a little bit of a problem with my memento last night when I was doing samples. So I did go ahead and brought in my Gina K amalgam because the memento, I wasn't getting very crisp, detailed images with it. So let's bring in our Gina K amalgam. This is safe for alcohol markers. And I haven't re-inked this in a while. So let's see what kind of an image we get. Oh, that's going to be beautiful. Stamp it again. So I got my birds here in the center where I wanted them. Let's ink that up one more time because I want a nice dark image. We can always bring it back in, but then we run the risk of having like a double image shadowing, and I don't want that. So that looks absolutely perfect. So I stamped that in the middle there. We can pull that off, and then I actually took my image up here. We're not going to stamp it yet, but in order to place it, to figure out where I wanted it placed, I just took the branch and laid it over where I wanted it. Now I want the birds in the foreground and the branch in the background because see, I want his little feet sitting on that branch. So we need to stamp our birds first, and that's how I placed my heart and my branch there. But we need to get masks on the birds first. I am just going to reuse my masks that I made last night. And my masks I made with the Avery removable labels. I love those. They are a lot more economical compared to some of the name brand masking papers. And they work just as well. You can reuse them several times. And I just love those. And they last forever. I think you get 10 sheets in the pack and they just go on forever. There we go. That's good. Our birds are masked. We are masking our birds because we want them in the foreground. And now we can stamp our branch and our heart. I'm just going to put another magnet down there. My magnet broke last night. It dropped on the floor and shattered, but we don't need a big one. So we're just going to stamp that branch and that heart. Let's ink it up again. Just like that. One more time. We missed a little bit down here. Perfect. So now we can, I'm wondering if we should heat set that heart. I'm going to, just because we're moving along so quickly and I don't want anything to smear. And we can take our branch. I had to get a new mask for the branch because I tore one of the limbs off on accident. So let's mask our branch. Just like that. Perfect. We can set the stamping aside. We no longer need that. And we are going to ink blend. So we will be bringing in our My Favorite Things cloud mask. And I just love this. If you don't have any type of a cloud mask, you really need to get one. I use this all the time. I'm using my Pink Fresh Sky Blue. And we're not going to worry about masking the heart because we will be coloring that in with a really dark color. So that won't matter. I am going to, oh, you know what? We forgot to put in our little heart clouds. I have, darn it, I forgot where I put my masks. Here they are. I saved all my little hearts. I die cut from that smallest little heart, a whole bunch of masks, and we are going to place those in here. We'll put our frame back around there and we can see where we want our little masks. And what I was hoping for when I did this was that they would give the appearance of little heart clouds underneath the ink blending. So let's get these on there. And we will also be stamping some red hearts. So these may get covered up, but that's okay. We'll still be able to see some of them. Just like that. Let's add a couple more. Just random, all over the place. Perfect. Now we can ink blend. So let's get our cloud stencil back in here. We can realign that. And I'm going a little more heavy-handed because I want to make sure that we can see those hearts when we take the mask off. Just rotate that mask and move up. Okay, so we've got that all stenciled, and we can bring in our brush and we can color in some of that white space. Not too heavy, but just fill it in a little bit. I think that's probably pretty good. Get a better blend up there. That may be covered. Yeah, that's going to be covered. And I think that's perfect. So let's go ahead, put this aside, and we are going to remove our masks. And look at that. We have little hearts all in our clouds. Isn't that cute? I don't know what made me think of that, but I'm so glad I did that. And save those. You can reuse those. Now we will remove our branch mask. And that's where I ripped the limb off, so I had to make a new one. So we've got our branch, and then we will also remove our little birds here. We can reuse those. And these little birds are so cute. I love their little faces. Perfect. And now we can start coloring. Yay. Okay. So I have all my Copic markers here. I will have everything, all the colors that I use listed in the description below. And let's see. We're not doing yellow. We need the browns and the gray and the beak. So let's go ahead and start with one of the birds. I have 3 different colors here. I'm going to start with my lightest. And we're just going to do his tummy. We can also do his wings with the lightest, just to get some alcohol on there. Then we're going to bring in our medium blue, do his center wings, and our darkest blue for the tail. And then I am going to come back with my lightest color, and I am going to move those up so it looks like shading. And that is just so cute. And then we can go over his little tummy again, just like that. And that's perfect. Isn't he cute? And then for his face, I've got my colorless blender and C1, which is a very light gray. I am going to outline his face, do his little feathers up there, just like that. Then I'll come in with my colorless blender and I will blend that gray out. And I like to do that anytime an image is white. It just gives it a little bit more definition and a little bit of shadowing. And that's perfect. That is so cute. Then for my branch, I'm coming in with my very lightest brown. And I'm going to color that in. And then I'll come in with my darker brown. And I'm just going to draw some lines in there, like the grain in the wood, just to give it some definition. Then we'll come back in with our lighter brown again and blend those colors. And that's going to give us a little bit of shading. Just like that. So I will, oh, and then next we need this one. When I Googled the lovebirds, they didn't have like an orange beak or orange feet. They were more of a neutral color, more of a really light brown. So that's why I'm using the light brown here. I am going to go ahead and color my other little lovebird here. Okay, so we've got our birds and everything all colored in except for our hearts. So we need to bring our little frame back in, and this is always a little scary. I have stamps. What did we do with the other ones? Oh, here we go. I have 2 of the leaves. With the stamp set, you get 4 leaves and 2 hearts. We've got the larger heart right in the middle there. And then I have the smaller heart on a block and 1 larger leaf and a smaller leaf. So we need to see where our area is. We're going to bring in our blocks and we are going to freehand this. You know what? Let's do our leaves first. Let's bring in our larger leaf. I always like to stamp once just to make sure I'm getting a good image. That looked pretty good. And we can see where we want our leaves. We're going to put one down here. I'm not directly over it, so hopefully I'm getting a good image there. Another larger one over here. And then we also want one on that branch that will be sticking out from the heart frame. Let's bring in our smaller leaf. We're just going to freehand these. Always a little bit scary. I think that's good. Sorry about that. I wanted to look directly over it. Do a couple more little leaves here. Just like that. Then we can do another one here. Another one over here. And then we are going to add some hearts. Just scatter the hearts everywhere. All right. So we've got all our little hearts added. That is always so scary when you've got your background done and then you decide to freehand some images on there. But we did it. Yay. So let's bring in our colors again. For the leaves, I am going to be using a lighter green and a darker green. And for the leaves, I just color in with the lighter green just like that. Then I'll add some highlights with the darker green. Bring back in the lighter green and blend those colors. The alcohol does all the work for you, but you get beautiful shading. So I will finish those leaves. So I went ahead and I colored in all my hearts there. Also, after I finished my leaves. So now, really, all we have left to do is just put this together. We need to bring in our sentiments, but let's add some foam tape. I have stuff scattered everywhere today. So I've got foam strips all on the back of my frame there. And what I like to do here is I like to just take it and just lay this on top. So I will need to get my head in there. And I'm just going to make sure it's nice and centered. And then I can just place that right on top of my frame. And that is perfect. So let's add our sentiments. We've got sentiments all done. I white heat embossed my sentiments on black. And then I've also got some little flowers here because we need to add a few little flowers just to give it that little bit of extra something. So let's do our sentiments. We're going to put that right in there. I think that looks good, but if you want to, you can bring in your ruler and make sure that that's straight. Just like that. Let's add our little flowers. Let's first figure out where we're going to put them. I think that's cute. Let's go ahead and get those placed. That is so cute. Now at this point, if you decide you want a couple more hearts, that's not a problem. I can see a couple places where I might want to put another one. So let's do that real quick. I've got my heart stamp. We're going to be super duper careful. And I am just going to put one right in here, like that. And one more up here. Perfect. Now we can color those in. Let's add this to a card base and we are done. Oh my goodness, that was so easy. So easy. And I wanted to remind everybody that I also have Instagram and Facebook. Everything is Handmade Hugs by Melissa. And I also got my website up. I have cards on there. Going forward, I will have a lot more information as far as sizes and everything like that. Right now, I just have some pictures up there and a brief description, but going forward from this card, we will have a lot more information and more pictures. These are our cards for today, and I am so pleased with how these came out. Those are just adorable. We've got our blue lovebirds with the blue background. We've got our blue lovebirds with the red background. And we've got our green and orange. Those are so cute. Which one is your favorite? Please leave me a comment. Please give me a thumbs up. Please share me with your friends. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.